I recently discovered that soap isn't legally allowed to be called soap anymore. And when I looked into why, I fell into the rabbit hole of making my own soap from scratch. And what I learned along the way is absolutely gonna surprise you. So here's exactly what ended up happening. First, I measured out 623 grams of coconut oil, 226 grams of filtered water, and 80 grams of lye. Lye is the main ingredient that's actually gonna make this soap. People have been making it for thousands of years just by starting a campfire, collecting the ash left behind, pouring water through the ash, and taking the water that drips out, which is the lye, and using it to make soap. Without lye, you can't actually make the lathering bubbles, so it's arguably the most important ingredient in the mix. Once I measured everything out, I got some eye protection and gloves, which is very important because lye can burn your skin, and I got ready to heat up the process. But I realized working with lye could actually be a bit dangerous, and I knew I wanted really clear instructions close by that I could follow, so I opened my app, scanned a photo of my coconut oil, got an ID, found my experiment, and got exactly what I needed. The science behind the process, what to expect, all the materials I would need, and a full step-by-step guide that I could start checking off as I completed the experiment, plus some common mistakes to avoid and some safety notes to make sure I did this the right way. So immediately, I was fired up and felt even more ready to go. I went into my progress tracker, checked off the first step, and now I was finally ready to make that lye solution safely. I began melting down my coconut oil on the stovetop, and as it melted, I got ready to mix my filtered water with my lye in a stainless steel pot. But I wasn't sure if I needed to add the water or the lye first, and I remembered something in the safety notes about this. So I checked the app, and it's honestly good I checked because it told me to never pour the water into the lye because it can cause a violent steam reaction. Great. So I slowly poured the measured lye granules into the water, and I was careful here because the solution generated a lot of natural heat and got very hot. It instantly heated to more than 200 degrees. So I had to act fast and mix it all together until the lye completely dissolved. You need a stainless steel pot here because lye is highly corrosive and it also reacts with certain metals. It'll eat through aluminum, react with cast iron, and even damage non-stick coatings. And you don't want any of that ending up in your soap. But stainless steel doesn't have that same reaction with lye, so it stays stable so your mixture stays safe and uncontaminated, and that's also the same reason why I needed to use a wooden spoon here because metal utensils like aluminum or copper also react. But you definitely don't want to get any of this in your eyes or on your skin because it burns, so please, if you're doing this at home, be careful and follow the instructions on the app. So, I was ready to add my coconut oil into the mix. I slowly added it into the pot and began mixing it with my wooden spoon until I saw some cloudiness. That is the beginning of the reaction needed to make soap. I got a hand mixer and started blending for about 20 minutes. If you have an immersion blender, use that and it'll cut the time in half to about 10 minutes of blending. But I blended and blended away until I started to see the saponification reaction taking place. The lye breaks down the fat molecules in the coconut oil and rebuilds them into something completely new, soap. The lye is gone, the oil is gone, and what's left is something that can actually clean you. And remember when I said without lye you can't make those lathering bubbles? Well, it's because lye is what creates the soap molecules in the first place. And soap molecules are what traps air and makes the actual lather. So it's not the lye itself making the bubbles, it's the chemical reaction between the lye and the oil that makes it happen. I started to notice my mixture getting a lot thicker, which is a stage called trace. I wanted to know more about that, so I opened my app and saw it told me that trace means the saponification reaction is working and the soap batter holds a faint trail on its surface when drizzled, so it looks and acts kind of like a light vanilla pudding. So I was content, I just continued to trust the process, and I was glad I had all the instructions very near. But soon I had a mixture that looked kinda like liquid soap. So I got my molds and started pouring that vanilla pudding cream-like mixture into each square. At that point, I was finally ready to start the fun part, adding some inclusions. I love lemongrass and bee pollen, so I added those along with some rosemary, orange, lavender, poppy seeds, and vitamin E. Each one was different. I really liked the coconut oil as the base because it's one of the best oils for creating a rich, hard, and soft lather. Bee pollen is great for antioxidants and skin healing properties. Poppy seeds, great for gentle exfoliation, basically nature's loofah. And essential oils to make it smell incredible without any synthetic fragrance. For the essential oils, I did about 10 to 20 drops each. I wasn't exactly sure how much to add. My app told me to add 0.5 to 1 ounce per pound of oil, so I did. But still, we all know on this channel, it's all trial and error. And honestly, it didn't matter too much if I went heavier on the essential oils because the soap still needs more time to cure for around 6 weeks after this, and while it cures, the strength of the essential oils slowly fade down to that perfect level. I'll get more into that in a second, but as I added everything in, I swirled each square with a toothpick and labeled them all with tape so I could keep track of what was in each one, and soon I was left with this. Each one looking absolutely divine and smelling even better. I finished labeling the rest and then got ready to leave them overnight to harden. My app told me that letting it sit for those initial 24 to 48 hours would complete the initial saponification. And while I was waiting, remember when I said that soap isn't legally allowed to be called soap anymore? Well, the second companies added words like moisturizing or antibacterial to their labels, the FDA was like, that's not soap, that's a cosmetic. So they basically said, you're not allowed to call it soap anymore. And that's when companies started labeling them as a beauty bar or a cleansing product, and they realized that they could add a bunch of random other ingredients that aren't even needed or good for your skin because it didn't technically need to be called soap. Nowadays, honestly, most of them aren't even made with real ingredients. Anyway, I guess that's exactly why I wanted to make my own. So, once they hardened overnight, my app told me to check the soap by pressing the center. Since it felt firm and the soap started pulling away from the edges of the molds a bit, they were ready to be taken out, so I removed them, and as tempted as I was to try washing my hands with them, they weren't ready yet. They still needed between 4 and 6 weeks to cure. And that's mandatory because newly unmolded soap still contains lye, and the full saponification reaction isn't complete just yet. There's still active lye in the bar, and you don't want to wash your face with active lye. It'll actually burn right through skin tissue, and that's the whole point of the curing process. It gives the reaction enough time to fully finish, so by the end of the waiting time, there's no lye molecules left in the bar whatsoever, and it ends up getting consumed in the process of becoming soap. So, a fully cured bar has 0 active lye in it, but an uncured bar might still have some lye that hasn't fully reacted yet, and that's what makes it unsafe to use too early. But that's not the only reason why you need to cure. The water I mixed in at the beginning still needs to evaporate out. The longer it cures, the harder and longer lasting the bar becomes. So, I waited patiently. Very used to that, we all know that. 4 to 6 weeks later, it was finally time to try them out. And honestly, it looked like something from a fancy boutique, but I wanted to make sure it was okay to try them out because I didn't want to risk burning my skin. So I logged a check-in, asking if there was anything else I needed to do, and I got the exact answer I needed to finally try them out. And honestly, that's exactly what I built this app for, so you never have to figure this stuff out alone. Whether you want to start this experiment, try a different one, or follow along with whatever I do next, you can download Grow It for free on the App Store and on Google Play. I've linked it in the description and throughout this video with clickable links. But so, once I realized they were fully cured and I could actually try them, the fun part came. I turned on the water, let my bar of soap get wet, and I tried to lather it onto my hands. And I don't even know how to explain it, but that lather was incredible. Way more than I expected. It felt so soft on my skin, and my hands truly felt clean. Usually I put cream on my hands after I wash them, but this time I felt like I had already put cream on them. They genuinely felt clean in a way that store-bought soap could never. I was really excited. Not only am I never gonna have to buy bar soap ever again, but it also made me wonder what it would be be like to make some homemade peppermint liquid Castile soap, because that one is my favorite too.
Obsessed.